Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers. In our first story, we have a choosing beggar who looks into a flatshare. He doesn't want the room, but seems to still want to be in the building. Let's jump right in. This happened several years ago, but I still laugh about it when it comes to mind. The backstory is I was renting an apartment which was a 3-person flat share. One person had just moved out, so I had to look for a replacement. I posted an ad and got a nice email from this guy, so I invited him over to view the apartment. We had the usual chat about what we do for a living. He was working an office job, but was about to start his own business, our daily routines, and so on. He was enthusiastic about the apartment and seemed like a decent guy in general. So after a day or two, I told him he could have the room. Then he replied he would like to come over again to talk some things over and get to know the other flatmate, who hadn't been around the first time he came to view the place. I replied he was welcome to come over again, but the other flatmate was currently traveling and wouldn't be back until the following month. I told him this before, but he must have forgotten or misunderstood. He wasn't too happy about that. So he came over again and decided to let me in on some rather interesting facts, which he had not mentioned before, like that he had a stepson who was 10 years old. The boy was his ex's son, with whom he had been in a relationship for several years, but they had recently broken up, hence why he was looking for a new place to stay. He then proceeded to tell me how the boy would be very happy to come over sometimes to use the pool, which belonged to the apartment complex, because they had become very attached, and therefore he was still kind of taking care of the boy sometimes, despite the breakup. The boy would also sleep over once a week, if that was okay with us. Okay, thanks for only telling me about the kid now. Anyway, he asked me if he could let me know the next day, because of the chaotic situation with the ex, the boy, and everything else. I was just kind of stunned at this point, so I said okay. I figured if he did move in and things got out of hand, I could terminate his renting agreement anytime. The next evening, I wrote him an email and asked whether he had decided yet. He, once more, asked if he could come by a third time to talk. I already had a bad feeling, so I told him I was busy and it would make more sense if he could just tell me by email. And boy, what an email I then received. He wrote that he had to make a really tough decision, whether to stay with his now suddenly wife, not girlfriend anymore, or whether to definitely leave her. The way he talked about it the first time, it sounded like she had left him, not the other way around. He had decided to stay with his wife or girlfriend and not take the room, which was totally fine by me. And then he turns into the choosing beggar. After declining the room, he continues his email like this. He would like to come by sometime as soon as he had launched his business and bring some promo material along. No, you do not get to invite yourself over and additionally promote your stuff, which I am not interested in. But he would be interested in renting a part of the cellar to store his wine and stuff. Seriously, you want to rent a 1 meter square of cellar space for me? How will I explain that to the management, and how would you get in anyway? I would obviously not give you a key to the building. Plus, although he mentioned renting the space for cash, at this point, I didn't doubt for a second he wouldn't have eventually tried to negotiate his way into using the space for free. He would love to use the pool 1 to 2 times a month as guests of the flat share. The other tenants surely wouldn't notice or mind. What the flip? You want me to let you and your family use the pool for free as guests of the flat share? We met 2 times for a grand total of 30 minutes, and you declined the room. I don't even consider you an acquaintance, much less a friend I would be comfortable inviting over as a guest. And flip off, of course the other tenants would notice. Had already imagined it all and was therefore a bit sad that it wasn't happening and he would miss the apartment. So he had planned from the beginning to view the apartment, see what he could get out of it, and then not take it, cause it sure sounded like it to me. No mention of how he was looking forward to actually living in the apartment with us or anything, just what he wanted, now that he wouldn't be taking the room. Sounded like he had thought more about that than actually about taking the room. And as for missing the apartment, you didn't even live here. Well, how the heck would you miss it? I just replied I wouldn't be able to help him out with any of his requests, and he surprisingly let it go without any fuss. Dodged a bullet there for sure. As luck would have it, the flatmate I then picked was amazing, and we're still friends today. In story 2, we have a choosing beggar cleaner who treats her client's house like a store. This is my first post ever, and I'm a bit scared if it fits, but I've been dying to tell someone. This happened 8 years ago, so I don't have texts or photos to share. I love this Reddit sub and just want someone else to say, "She did what?" I employed a school mom friend as a cleaner. She was self-employed. I'm disabled, so I can't do bigger hoovering and bending jobs, but live carefully, and this helped me and my children whilst I worked. I paid a going rate, yada yada, that she asked for. One week, her handle on her handbag broke. She kept moaning about it and dropping hints that I had so many bags and hers was broken. At that time, I had 8 handbags. It's an uninteresting story, but lone parent, controlling ex-husband who had left, but he'd never before let me have more than 2 at a time, which she knew, and it had been a big delight for me to be able to buy more. So I had 4 new ones for best and 4 other lightly used ones, of which 2 were big enough to fit work A4 pads in, 2 were going out clutch purses, and 4 were normal size handbags in different colors, all of which I loved and kept some for best in my wardrobe. It's probably nothing extravagant, but it made me happy. So I left her a new beige leather handbag out that morning by the door that I'd thoughtfully bought her on my lunch break for £18 on sale. I left a post-it note stuck on the purse the day she was due round, as I was always at work. "Hi mate, got this out for you if you want it." I left it along with the usual payment for her cleaning day, a couple hours, at mine. When I returned, I found that she hadn't taken the purse, though she had picked up the money, so I thought nothing further about it. I thought that maybe I had embarrassed her, but since she dropped so many hints over the last fortnight, I don't think I'd misread her. Weeks later, I couldn't find my dark brown leather Gucci handbag, which may or may not have been a knockoff copy brought back from India by a friend. I never knew if it was genuine or not, but very likely not. I loved this purse and kept it for my best nights out. After quite a few more weeks of searching, driving myself mad, I saw my cleaner, mum friend at school pickup with my brown Gucci, perhaps knockoff, bag that I hadn't been able to find. I said, lovely bag. I have one just like it. And by her face, I then asked, is that my bag? She told me, well, you never used it, so I thought I needed it more as I use it. You don't need it. I'd like to say I took it back and made merry hell, but I didn't. I kept saying, you took that from my house, without asking. And I cried on my way home as she'd already ruined it. It was stuffed full, and she got out food from it as her child came out of the class, etc. At around the same time, I found out other things she'd done as the scales fell from my eyes, and within the month, I eventually got my keys back and no longer employed her nor let her around my house again. I know I ought and could have done something, but I was so taken back. I couldn't think and didn't want to go to the police because our children were friendly. You know that slow-mo thought that runs through your head where you really want to slap someone's smirk, but you know it's a playground with children around and you wouldn't dare do it anyway. What really upsets me is that she went into my wardrobe to get it, as well as the sheer choosing beggar cheek and thievery of it. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.